Hey everybody, and welcome. Special edition episode of the Rob Review here. I know that the purpose of this channel is to educate and empower entrepreneurs to take their business to the next level. Generally we talk about using video, and today we're going to talk specifically about your 2021 content marketing strategy. With that, what we're doing here is, yes, we're going to employ video. Personally, I'm talking about it because with all my years of experience in the television industry, 10 plus years now, films, producing, working on TV shows, and producing for businesses so that they can get to their consumer and customer audience. What I have learned, among many things, is that a phone always interrupts a good speech. Okay, what I've learned is that most businesses underutilize video. And in the past 5 years, most businesses have overutilized Facebook. I don't know what the reason is. My opinion is that there's so many experts coming out talking about Facebook that every Tom, Dick, and Harry in your local market has some Facebook expert, and when I inquire as to who they are and what they do and try to work with them on video productions, usually I find that maybe 1 out of every 5 actually knows how to build a strategy that's not just within Facebook, how to work with a group, and just has had any experience in really building a business brand. And that's not to bash on anybody. Entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well in you, and I'm not going to bash on what you try to do. But as a business owner, be mindful of people that are coming to you and they are branding themselves as experts or social media, what have you, and they don't actually have the ability in the experience department to show you how to string together, and by string I mean a plan of how to have a content strategy across the board. Because in today's world, guys, we have such a dramatic increase in the past 3 or 4 years of information available to us, not just on Facebook or YouTube, but across the board, of where people are, what consumers have, what they do, where they search, where they buy, everything. And though on a privacy standpoint, as an American citizen, I'm appalled by it, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, because it's not going anywhere, you have to use it. You just do. And from a video standpoint, using it in context with a marketing strategy that employs video and other elements is the best way to get to, especially a new customer, but even to continue to be top of mind in your current customers. We'll do a whole lot about video history on this channel, but just to kind of gloss over it for a minute, if big brands utilize video even today, and a lot of big brands were built with video, since the beginning of television, video has been the best marketing tool out there. Why would you not take your time to look at where and how you're using video in conjunction with the rest of your marketing efforts? It's, to me, if a larger company than you is doing it, whether they're your competition or not, but especially if they're in your market, something that you aspire to be, then you should figure out why they're doing it and try to mimic it. And I have not met a company yet that has $5 million plus in revenue that isn't using video some way, somehow, and in today's economy is doubling and tripling down on that video. I meet with companies that use video not only to market, but just to get their name out there. And with all this employee shortage that we're having now, this crisis in employment, a lot of companies are utilizing video to find employees, to find workers, to find capable people to put on their team. And so today, just to kind of get into a video that I should have done way earlier in this channel's history. And I did this on cable, but now that this channel is live on so many other outlets, I felt that I needed to kind of retouch on this subject so that my audience, so that the jaw can hear what I did on cable, because it's important. This year is not over with, and because COVID, at least in my area, the restrictions have been lifted. It's time to shine, and it's time to come out of the gate swinging, okay? And your content strategy has to employ video. It just has to. It doesn't have to employ, and this is what I tell people all the time. They ask me, I go to meet with them. Generally, when I go to meet with them, there is this idea that I'm coming in and I'm going to be expensive. Like the first thing that they think of is, the cost. Usually I put that to bed, and the fear of it anyway, in two ways. One, think about it. Your ROI, okay? Yes, it's going to cost up front, but it's just like any other investment. Don't look at it at the upfront cost. Look at it as what am I going to get in return? You pay your tax professional a gob of money because they get you a large return back, but you don't get it instantly. You pay professionals money, and over time you expect a 2, 3, 4, sometimes 10x return. That gets rid of the expense thing right there. But also there are businesses that consult with me, or that just I work with entrepreneurs in all different shapes and sizes, because I love entrepreneurship. It's the lifeblood of America, and especially, I'm in it right now. I'm in the thick because I'm building my dream. And so I'm talking with people and they're like, well, I can't afford video, Robbie. I don't have $5,000 to drop on a production. Well, your content marketing strategy should grow with your business, but if you are a business that has a smaller revenue, and maybe your marketing budget for the entire year is $20,000, and so you can't spend a fourth of it on one production, that's okay. There's ways that you can work with professionals to get done what you need to get done, or you can work on it on your own until you can employ a professional. And what we're talking about today is a foundation of how to build out a content strategy. And then you can look at, okay, do I need high gloss production? And a lot of it depends on what we're going to talk about right now, which is your who. A lot of it depends on your goals and your target market. The first thing that we really have to identify, and understand, this is not just theory to me, okay? I do this with businesses that I sit down with all the time, and it's not uncommon for them not to understand what is the one thing that you want to accomplish with your video marketing strategy. What is the one thing that you want to, and it's not just your video marketing strategy. You got to look at it, in my opinion, from a wide berth, from a wide range, and then go inward, okay? What do you want to accomplish at the end of 2021? Where do you want your business to be? What do you want your numbers, your revenue numbers to be at? Where do you want your customer acquisition to be at? Those things, all understood, can be brought down thinking backwards to, okay, well, if I want that to be there, then in 6 months it needs to be here, in 3 months it needs to be here, and okay, what do I do this month? And then where the content marketing strategy comes in is, how do I get the ball rolling on those goals? You define the one thing that gets the ball rolling, and generally it is customer acquisition, but it's not customer acquisition that's the one thing. It's my outcome goal is I want to double my revenue by the end of 2021. If your revenue in your business is $100,000, you want to have 200. You want to have And with that 200, okay, how do I get there? Well, I've got this service that costs this much. I need to bump that up by this many people. This service that costs this much, I can bump that up by this many people. And so for an example, if you got several services in your value ladder and one or two of them, they could grow your business, sure. But you've got this other service over here that's something that when you work with clients on that piece, it adds the most value to their life and it's the most satisfying and rewarding to you, then maybe let's look at targeting the who that can afford that and see if there's people already in your value ladder that you can bring up, and then see if you can bring in more people into the value ladder and start working them up. Or if there's people that you can just bring in and bring right to that service. That's where your content marketing strategy will fill those holes. So once you know, okay, this is how many people I got to acquire, then you define that who. And generally, it's easier to define when you come at it from that angle because, okay, you know that, well, if they need to be able to afford X value, they need to have X income. They are these kind of people, they're this age. And so just to kind of show you something, your who determines it all. This slide shows an example of an audience that I built out. This is a show that I'm working on. And even when I do documentaries and shows, I build out audience avatars. And when I sit down with a customer, I really, really enjoy them getting into it because I've seen this happen several times. They can almost see the person that they're talking about. Probably can see. And that person becomes not just a faceless audience, but a real person that they want to see walk in their business door. Okay? My little example here is just a small, kind of like bite-sized customer avatar, but you can go really, really deep. You need to define that, and then that definition defines how the video is built around the who, so you can define, okay, well, what are their pain points? What are their pleasure points? How do I hit those? Well, I need to figure out what their objections are. And it's not always just about that objection. It's about what is the unique way that your business can call attention to that objection, that issue, and what's the unique way that you solve it. It becomes your unique story. And that's where video comes in real handy in telling that. And so then with the who, the beautiful thing about today's information is that there's already online congregations and offline congregations that you can easily tap into. Examples of offline congregations would be television shows that generally do have an online presence now, that whoever's watching that show, the show has an audience, a direct avatar audience, the who. If that who matches with your who, then you build a pattern interrupt video to go within that show, before that show, after that show, attracting them. Same thing with online congregations where they might be already asking the question that you build a video to define. They might be watching a particular show, and I'll talk about an example here in a minute, and you hit on that and you interrupt what they're already looking for. Showcase your unique proposition, and boom, you've got them. Now you need a way to pull them offline and make them your own. Especially if you're a local business, it becomes uniquely interesting to pull them offline, because if you're an online business, the whole transaction will happen right then. But if you're an offline business, you got to get them to either come off their couch from watching TV or come off their phone from being on the internet and go to your place of business to spend money. So this is where things like free checkups, discounts, coupons, giveaways come in. And I caution every business that I build videos for, because I'm not a marketing king by any means, but I understand that in today's world, video and marketing go together hand in hand. If you are not in your business currently using a newsletter, then you are missing out on being in constant contact with your list, your business customers, and being present in mind, because there are customers, I guarantee you, you're leaving out there because you're not thinking about them, and they're not thinking about you, because whatever service you're providing, at one time you helped them with that, and now they're not in enough pain to come back, so they don't think about it, or you satisfied them enough with the first thing that they don't realize they need the next thing. Whatever the case is, I need to start to kind of get into my example here. I know that not everybody out there is a local business, but it's summertime. Landscapers, lawn care professionals are out everywhere. And because I used to be one, I thought, hey, let me build out a content strategy so that you can kind of see from the foundation how it flows together, right? And so, excuse me one second. If I was to start a landscaping company today, this is exactly what I would do. This is not me just talking on a video to you. This is exactly what I would sit down and do, and this is how it would come out, okay? You see on the screen there, my target audience would be married couples who both work or the husband works long hours. This is not to be sexist, I'm just saying that generally in my area, the man is the one that takes care of the lawn, and so that's who I need to market to. They live in subdivisions where others can see my work. They have medium income levels of somewhere between $60,000 to $100K a year target range. That's so they can have discretionary income, because in lawn care, it's never about just the lawn. It's about all the other services that you can add on to it. So I want them to have income to spread around to me. They live where they have at least an acre and a half, so I can charge them enough for the lawn to make a profit. And they have a young family. When people have young families, especially if they are new to the young families just stay around longer, okay? Whether they're young or their kids are young, they stay rooted, so you can build a long-term relationship with them. And the other things, they're important too. But so that's my target market. I would take that target market and then say, okay, where do I find them? Okay, target around couples looking for real estate in areas I already work. So you smooth the local real estate people. You look in real estate magazines for the ability to advertise. You look online especially for the ability to advertise around real estate advertisements. Generally, YouTube's not so great for this, but Facebook can be and LinkedIn can be. Target wives who watch gardening videos. This can be where YouTube comes in handy, because all you have to do is find a wife that loves a garden but doesn't want to handle the manicuring of the lawn, and you've got two problems to solve, two pain points, okay? One, she is taking care of the lawn and does not want to do it. She wants to be in her garden. She will gladly pay you to take that off her hands and make her garden look better because you know what you're doing with the lawn. Two, she is highly inept in the green thumb of the garden, but is not in the lawn care situations. Or she just loves the garden but doesn't know how to do any of it, but regardless, her love is enough that she's going to spend the money. So you target that. LinkedIn profiles of men that have high incomes, professional men, and then I would run ads alongside lawn care equipment providers. Okay. The funny thing is as an advertiser myself, I I see these things where people have lawn care equipment for sale. Generally, as a professional man, I get that the first thing I want to do is just not buy that, but if I have to, I have to. I want somebody to take it out of my hands. But if I don't know, I don't know. But if right after that commercial, I see a commercial for, hey, Joe's Lawn Care, I'm going to call Joe. All right, look, we'll wrap this up really quick. I would build videos that identify the prospect with testimonials of a lookalike audience, meaning something that they identify with. Somebody, their house looks similar. Maybe they even match it with one in the neighborhood that they live in. The people look like they would be friends with the people, and therefore they have no problem calling you because now they have trust. A video targeting the wife on the pain of having the green thumb garden, but she also wants it to be highlighted by a well-manicured lawn. And then targeting realtors, this is a really interesting one, by advertising to realtors to give discounts to them for using me on multiple properties. Meaning realtors, as some of y'all know that work in that space, you got a lot of properties that you got to manage. Sometimes it's taken care of, sometimes it's not. If I give the realty company a massive discount while still making profit for myself to recommend me to the person, most people, I've seen it happen multiple times, somebody moves into a home, who takes care of this lawn? Oh, so-and-so does? Well, I'm just going to hire so-and-so because they know my lawn, they know it better than I do, and I can just step right into my life and not have any hiccups in the process. Okay, so that would be my content marketing strategy. And then I would make sure that those people that become my customers, I constantly re-hit them with videos talking about new services that I have, holiday discounts, loyalty discounts, and around holidays, like for instance, right now when I'm recording this video, Father's Day is coming up, I would hit somebody with the idea of, hey, I got this really cool deal right now. Make Father's Day a day to enjoy for you. Make your yard manicured beautifully so you can have people come over and you can spend more time on the grill doing what you love or going out fishing. You don't have to do those pesky yard chores, something like that, you know. So that about wraps it up. This is really a basic overview, but it gives you an understanding of what you might be leaving on the table. Look, guys, as always, we're about here at the Rob Review teaching you to build so you can scale and define your life the way you want it to.